Now let's return to the seminal political thriller of this election cycle in Nigeria, the attempt by a resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa State, Hudu Yunusa Ari, to break the rules in order to help his chosen party, in this case the APC, to seize power there. Of course, it was unsuccessful, but given the vigorously racy elements in the story, it would seem to be the obvious choice for the script of a Nollywood thriller, or indeed for anyone who wants to make a first attempt at political thriller writing, though it is of course a story rooted in fact, not fantasy. And I have a guest commentator with me for the rest of the program to offer his perspective on that big talking point of the day, not Nollywood of course. And for this I'm joined now by the veteran journalist, well-known, well-respected media consultant and leadership newspaper columnist Wale Olaoye. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thanks, Charles.
What do you make of the developments in Adamawa State over the last few days?
Bizarre. I think even by Nigerian standards, bizarre. I caught everybody unawares because it's unprecedented, even with our storied past in electoral malfeasance. It caught everybody unawares in the sense that it was the first time in Nigeria that an electoral commissioner that had no business being a returning officer will come forward and announce somebody elected without figures. And he will just say, well, whether you like it or not, I have now pronounced so person. I found it's frightening.
Yeah.
You know, it's frightening. If anybody could just stand up and do that with the support of law enforcement around him, we should not, but I hope we will get over this stage and heal. It's frightening and it's done a lot of damage to our democracy. But
looking at it objectively, do you see a connection with that action and the APC?
Well, the parties have developed all sorts of tricks, you know, to try and beat their co-contestants and all that. But I would rather put it at the doorstep for probity's sake and for us to be able to get to the bottom of this. I would want to hold the candidates responsible, not the parties. The candidates are the people who are dealing with this issue locally. They are the ultimate beneficiaries of these actions. I think it could have, I can't be bothered about their parties. I think the law enforcement now should go after the candidates who has done whatever is wrong, if it's the party that has engineered it and whatever, but we need to hold some people responsible for this.
Right, but you think the APC and their candidate have deniability here? Because, I mean, though the REC did what he did and his actions favored them, no one has actually come out so far, I mean, apart from, you know, the PDP making suggestions there, so far to directly implicate them in the actions that the REC took.
No, nobody, but nobody has exculpated them either.
That's a good point.
And when I deal with politicians, I like to be very forensic and to be very careful, because it's like the flagellation of a double-edged sword, this way, that way. It could flip either way. And when they are like that, that's why I say, who are the people involved? The electoral commissioner has a name. The candidates who they came and accepted what she knew was not a valid declaration. She has a name. So I would rather go for people that the law can deal with immediately, instead of talking about institutions. All these are in the air. And this is how people get away with blue murder, and then tomorrow we go back to the starting blocks all over again. We should cure this impunity once and for all.
Right, but are there lessons there that might be learned for the political parties in what happened in Adamawa State? Because some have argued that at different times they've all, in their own ways, attempted to feed the bear that is INEC in order to get it to favor them.
Yeah. That is actually well said at various times. But the truth now is that we are at the mercy of impunity. Each party tries to get away with as much crime as possible. But when the crime gets to the height of this last one, then everybody seems to be raising hell, But I still don't want us to lose sight of what happened was unprecedented. And it tainted not just the political parties, it tainted law enforcement. And it shows that law enforcement has a lot of work to do. I don't know how they do their scenario planning, but the police commissioner had no business being in that. It ought to occur to him straight that this is a crime.
Absolutely.
We are seeing what's going on with Trump supporters now. And they're going to jail one after the other. Because the system is making a statement. Your insurrection was an attempted coup, and that will not be acceptable forever in America. That is what we should do here. So that's why I'm saying let's go for individuals. The American system went for individuals. They identified them in the video, and they went after them one after the other.
But does it suggest, though, the way that Nigerians have reacted? I mean, they saw this as an absolutely odious thing. Is it now inexorably clear that there is a very high price to pay for this kind of action, and that you won't find support from either INEC or the judiciary, because both have reacted quite strongly to this, and in many people's assessments positively? Or is it too early to draw that kind of conclusion?
It's not too early. I take every positive as it comes. I credit INEC for moving quickly on this, because after the lady accepted the nomination, the declaration, anything could have happened. This is what happened in the wild West, in the Western region. Rigging of election can bring down a country completely. In the Western region, it was all like a joke, and a joke became. The handshake went beyond the elbow, and by the time the wrestling started, nobody had any place to hide. So I think we should be careful with what we are doing. Law enforcement is indicted, and it shows that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of their presence of mind. Should I be in this photo op? Should I be on this stage? Should this man be saying what he's saying? If law enforcement officer has no business just being part of the furniture, oh, well, I should just be there. That's that's silly for anyone to say that.
And it's a commissioner of police. It's not just a sort of,
it's not
rank
a constable.
and file.
So it shows you that there's quite a bit of work. And I hope the Inspector General, he has started well, because each time he moved fast. But I would rather it didn't happen. Not just recalling them, and I would rather it didn't happen at all.
So in the words of the song, has it only just begun? Because this story hasn't ended by a long shot. Or do you think that it's now essentially done and dusted, and possibly the APC isn't really losing any sleep over it, or anyone else for that matter?
I don't think the APC should lose sleep over it, because of the potential of things like this for debranding the party. Already it has debranded the candidate to a great extent, whether they like to accept it or not. You see, reputational loss is a very big loss, and people don't realize it, that by the time you try to do up the damage, what it takes, there are some damages you may never be able to recover from. That is absolutely true.
Wale, I want to thank you very much indeed. It was brief, but it was brilliant. Wale Olaoye is a veteran journalist, media consultant, leadership newspaper columnist. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Charles.
That's it for this edition of Arise Primetime. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and Yola, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.